Hey everybody, Matt Estrin, owner of 477 here to walk you through the very first video in our bartending school to talk about the tools that you need at home to become a professional bartender. I'm going to show you some of the tools that we have here at our bar in Greeley, Colorado, and the tools that you would see at other bars probably around the country when you go in there, stuff that will make making cocktails a whole lot easier and better at home. So let's get straight into it. The very first and most important tool that you need is a cocktail shaker. Now what we have here is a stainless steel Boston style cocktail shaker, which is a two-piece cocktail shaker. You have one side that is a little bit smaller and one side that is a little bit larger. There's also a three-piece stainless steel cocktail shaker. Also the Boston style shaker can come with the glass side as well. We highly recommend getting some form of stainless on both sides. It's just easier to clean and better for making the cocktails as well. If you have a three-piece shaker at home, that is great. Either option is fantastic. That being said, if you are looking to get into the professional bartending scene, you're going to see a lot more of the Boston style shakers than you would the three-piece shakers. But either one would work just great. Another really important tool that you would need is a jigger. Now a jigger is essentially it's a measuring cup that allows you to measure the liquid that you're going to be putting in the cocktail with a lot more speed. And this is the jigger that we like to use here at our tasting room. It is a 2 ounce and a 1 ounce on each side, and then inside you have your measuring rings. It's probably hard to see in the video, but it has your measuring rings of 1.5 ounces. And then this side it has your measuring of a 1/2 ounce and a 3/4 ounce as well. And this is really helpful because you want to make sure that you're really accurate on measuring your cocktails and the liquid that goes inside of your cocktails. With that being said, a pour spout is also super helpful to have at home, especially if you're trying to make cocktails with speed. We recommend getting the pour spouts with these longer metal spouts that has the air piece on the bottom. There are some that are the plastic spouts, and sometimes those don't pour as well. But these are great pour spouts that can help you at speed when you're making cocktails at home, especially if you're going to be using the jigger too. You can be a lot more accurate at pouring into the jigger than if you were just pouring without anything in your bottle of liquid, whatever it is that you're pouring out. If you plan on stirring any of your cocktails, like an old fashioned or a Manhattan at home, we recommend getting a stirring glass. Rather than just using a cup or something at home, you can stir a lot better with a stirring glass. And later in our classes, we're going to get into shaking cocktails and stirring cocktails, and so we'll explain a little bit more why a stirring glass is really important. Additionally, you're going to want a strainer. A strainer can be used to pour out of the stirring glass or pour out of your shaker, and this is going to help make sure that any solids that you have inside of your container aren't going to get into your cocktail. Some of the larger ice chunks that break up, anything that's muddled inside of the container, you're definitely going to want a strainer to help with that. Additionally, we have a muddler. And you can really use just about anything for this, but muddlers that are made for cocktail making are super helpful at making sure that the product is muddled the right way. You're going to want a bar spoon for stirring, and it's really important, again, when we get into the shaking and stirring portion of our classes, how having an actual bar spoon can help you become a better stirrer in stirring the cocktail appropriately. You're going to want some sort of a skewer, and we have metal skewers in our tasting room, and you can buy these as well. You can also get wood skewers, but if you're trying to make the cocktails look fancy, especially at home for your guests, you're going to want something to be able to skewer the garnishes that you're going to be putting on your cocktail. And then of course you'll need a knife to be able to cut up some of the fruits or the peels that you'll need for your garnishes. What else? Well, we'll get into some of the cups as well. And these are the 4 cups that we use in our tasting room, and there are tons and tons of glassware and cups that you can work with, but these are the 4 that we use here, and I'll tell you because we're going to reference these names, and so you're familiar with these names. The one on the outside here, this is a stainless steel cup that has copper on the outside, and these are used for mules. Most oftentimes if you're having some form of a Moscow mule or a Kentucky mule, it's going to be poured inside of a copper or stainless cup. This cup right here in the middle, we call a coupe glass. It is similar to a martini glass, but it's a little bit more of a bowl, and this is used typically without ice in it, more of a martini style cocktails. But if we refer to a coupe glass or a martini glass, that is what this glass looks like. You can also get a martini glass, so we actually don't use any of those here in our cocktail bar. This is probably the most popular cocktail glass. This is a rocks glass, which is used for mostly your whiskey drinks. And this last one right here is called a highball or a Collins glass. It's going to be a taller glass used for a lot of your gin drinks, gin and tonics, or Tom Collins, things like that. But if you hear us reference these in these videos, we want to make sure you understood what the glasses were. Your highball, Collins glass, your rocks glass, your coupe or martini glass, and then your copper or stainless glass. So those are the tools that you're going to need at home to do all the things that we're going to talk about in all the videos. And so I would hop on and go grab those before you get any further. You can buy all of this stuff, every single thing you can buy on Amazon. In fact, a lot of the syrups that we're going to talk about that maybe we don't make in-house or that we buy, you can also buy those on Amazon. A lot of the bitters that we talk about you can buy on Amazon. So definitely check that out as a resource to get all of these. Another place you can buy a lot of stuff is at a website called webstaurant.com. www.webstaurant.com has all sorts of restaurant supply stuff, including bartending equipment that you might need. One last place you can get a lot of this equipment is most of your local liquor stores should carry a lot of this stuff. And so definitely make sure to check them out first. We always want to support local. So when you go to buy any of our spirits or other spirits for your cocktails, make sure to check out their cocktail making section as well to see what kind of shakers, jiggers, muddlers, glassware that they might have at your local liquor store. So on to the next video. We'll see you.